That is a series win in Kansas City, and the Detroit Tigers may just be a wagon. All right, let's talk about that and more all today on Locked On Tigers.
You are Locked On Tigers, your daily Detroit Tigers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Locked On Tigers. I'm, of course, your host, Scott Bentley. Today is Wednesday, September 18th, 2024. Thank you so much for making Locked On Tigers your first listen every single day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts, including YouTube. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off of your first purchase. I don't know. I don't know anything. Don't clip that. I'm running out of things to say, but also that's obviously not true, as you are all very well aware. I love to talk, so not going to be an issue to fill 30 here, but I am just blown away every day. They just won't quit. They just AJ's boys don't quit, baby. Like they just don't. They are going to grind out every single game, and they're not going to roll over. And that's just so different from what we have watched for the last 8 years. It's so polar opposite. Tigers win 3-1, clinch a series victory in Kansas City on the road against a team with a better record than you. Win 3-1 in 10 innings. They are now 79-73. I think I said 83 yesterday. 79-73. They stay 1.5 back. Minnesota beat Cleveland last night. They are 8-2 in the Tigers' last 10 games. 8-2. They're on a 3-game win streak as well. And with this 79th win, they have officially clinched. They could lose out, and they will have had the best season that the Tigers have had since 2016. Guaranteed. Best season since 2016. This was a gritty, gross, just intense as all heck, grinded out baseball game, and an unbelievably gritty and impressive win. Find ways to win. I've said it so much. I'm going to continue saying it, right? We talk about this all the time. Baseball is really hard. Really hard. And even the best teams don't just win every game by like 10 runs, right? The best teams in the league don't just go out there and absolutely obliterate and win by double digits every time out there. It's about finding ways to win every single game. This was far from a perfect ball game played by your Detroit Tigers. The Royals should have won this game about 30 different times, maybe more than 30. But guess what? They didn't. Find a way. Refuse to lose. It's amazing to me because they're learning how to win in these big games, right? Which is so important for development. Even if they fall short, right? This is still a wildly successful September, obviously, and a wildly successful. We'll hold off on like a successful season until the off season. But I venture to say most people are in the camp that this is a pretty successful season at this point, right? It's amazing to me that in the most intense game, like these are legitimately the most intense games that most of these guys have ever played in, right? Like think about it in their whole lives, like a large majority, a large portion of this roster. These are the biggest and most intense games they have ever played in, and they're winning them. They're learning how to play in these intense games on the fly, and beating playoff caliber baseball teams while doing it. Refuse to lose, baby. Refuse to lose. So what went right in this 3-1 victory? I'm going to tell you right now. Okay, we're going to talk about the offense here in a second. We'll talk about Mize a little bit later. We have a lot of an amazing defensive play in this game. We got a lot to go over. Nothing, and I genuinely mean nothing, is more important in the outcome of this game than your bullpen. Do not get it twisted. Okay, the offense was quiet. Right, you scored 1 run in 9 innings. Mize went 4 1/3. The bullpen inherited bases loaded in the 5th inning and did not allow a run the rest of the game. 1 earned run tallied against Casey Mize. The bullpen did not allow a run in a game that went 10 innings. And when the starter didn't even go 5. Absolutely remarkable bullpen performance. The reason they won. And if you're an everydayer, you're aware, like I don't like giving all the credit or blame either side of the coin to all like one unit or one player very often. This was won because of your bullpen. The Royals went 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position in this game. They left 10 runners on base when it was all said and done. They got the bases loaded twice, I believe in back-to-back innings, if I'm remembering right. But in the middle innings there, scored 1 run in 10 innings. Shelby Miller, bless him. Shelby Miller catches a lot of heat. I'm sure from myself included too. 1 2/3, 1 hit, no earned runs, 2 walks, no strikeouts, and a huge double play. He comes into the ball game. Casey Mize leaves. 2 outs, bases loaded, and Shelby Miller, or 1 out, whatever, gets out of it, gets the double play, 1 out, bases loaded. Remarkable stuff. Absolutely remarkable. And then Bo Brisky, I mean, golly, 1 inning, perfect ball, 3 strikeouts, struck out the side. I don't know what has gotten in to Bo Brisky, but I hope it never leaves. Okay. Bo Brisky, if you put a stethoscope up to his chest, okay, you would hear a dog barking and not a heartbeat. This guy has been on another planet over the last 72 hours. Just pumping cheddar. Absolute cheddar biscuits and gravy. 100, like what, yesterday or 2 days ago, 99.5, pumping 99 consistently, dotting 98 low and away to a lefty in this one. Fantastic outing. And then Tyler Holton is the dog himself. He doesn't even have the dog within him. He is just, he is part dog. I don't know I don't know what to say. If you can't tell. I don't know how to articulate how good Tyler Holton is. I think is the issue here. I always have something to say if you haven't been able to figure that out, right? My career path is talking to myself for 30 minutes every single day, and I never get it done in less than 30 minutes, right? I always used to get in trouble growing up for talking too much in class and whatnot. I can't stop talking. I don't know what else to say about Tyler Holton. 2 innings of perfect ball, 2 strikeouts, pitches outside of what inevitably ended up being the 10th inning, right? The 2 highest leverage innings in this ball game. I don't even know if that's true because he didn't make them high leverage, right? Shelby Miller went out there, bases loaded, right? Again, they had the bases loaded multiple times in this game and continue to get out of it. I don't know. I don't know. He's allowed like 2 runs in the last 33 appearances he's had. That's not human. That's otherworldly. Dude's got an 88-mile-an-hour cutter, and absolutely nobody can hit it. He's got like 5 different pitches as a reliever. which is just so out of character for today's day and age of baseball when everyone is so velo oriented. I love Tyler Holton, and I don't care who knows. Let's talk Jason Foley. Then we'll talk about the offense, defense, Casey Mize, you name it. Got a lot more to talk about in this win. We will do all of that right after this. Got to talk to you all today about our friends over at FanDuel. You've heard us talk about FanDuel a lot, America's #1 sportsbook. Well, we have something a little different for you today. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then with a YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. Just visit FanDuel.com and download America's #1 sportsbook. Also got to talk to you all about our friends over at Game Time. Game Time has a new feature, called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier than it already was. At Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats. You don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. And honestly, the reason why we love Game Time here is because of all of the great features they have, right? You have seat views. So you can get a panoramic view of your seat before you buy it. All in pricing. You can toggle this feature and then know exactly what your total is up front. You don't have to deal with all the hidden fees and everything, the add-ons and taxes and whatnot that come at the end. You will know your total up front. And they also have the best Game Time ticket coverage. It's the best, right? Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the entire ticketing industry. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. All right, everybody, welcome back here. Segment 2, Locked On Tigers. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, making us your first listen as always. Shout out to the everydayers that do tune in every single day. We will, of course, be back tomorrow recapping the series finale against the Royals, as well as looking ahead as we always do. Also, be sure to check out the Locked On Tigers postcast with Jake Rietma. Immediately goes live on YouTube after every game. You can get the recap, the replay of the live on audio form as well. So talking about what went right in this ball game, the bullpen. Jason Foley goes out there in the 10th, 1 inning of perfect ball, didn't even allow the Manfred runner, right? That sinker was just absolutely eating the Royals alive. Stellar. Again, this bullpen had the bases loaded twice in the middle innings, didn't allow a run, and then literally did not allow a single base runner from the start of the 7th inning through the 10th. 7, 8, 9, 10. For all you math wizards at home, that is 4 innings of a 10-inning ball game that the Tigers bullpen threw perfect baseball. A perfect 4 innings to end it. Unbelievable. Absolute cinema. On the offensive side of the ball, Parker Meadows is Superman. I'm not kidding. I am only going to start calling him Superman because that's what he is. He is a superhero. He went 2 for 4 with a huge RBI in the 10th inning, obviously. Started against not only any lefty, an elite lefty, and had that stat line. He's a star. He's incredible. And none of that is even his biggest contribution to this ball game. Contribution. Said that right. Wow. Second guess myself there. It's a late night. The play he made in center field was otherworldly. That is Superman. That is who that is out there roaming center field for your Detroit Tigers. That saved the game. This game does not go into extras if that's over his head. They score, right? And we're talking about this game in a much different tone. Tigers only score 1 run, can't get it done. Mize gives up a couple of runs because that ball was torched and was to the warning track over the center fielder's head. Bad outing for him, bad showing for the offense. They laid over. That because of one play, the narrative is different, and it's that play. Unbelievable. Matt Vierling, shot to him as well, had a huge double in the first inning. Obviously hindsight is 2020. We know that the offense kind of got shut down by Reagans the rest of the outing, but to have such an important game and to get a run in the top of the first like that before, the crowd has even sat down from getting their hot dogs and you've already scored a run and are up 1-0 there is really big. So I really like that starting the game off that way, and credit to Matt Vierling yet again. AJ loading the lineup with righties against Reagans. And like I said, man, this team just refuses to lose. Like that's the best way. I don't know how else to say it. It's a mentality that starts with the coaching staff and AJ Hinch and permeates throughout the dugout, man. They just, even if they're not having a good game. Riley Greene, for instance, prime example, was 0 for 4, torched a baseball in the 10th inning. Rope. Should Witt have had that? Maybe, but he's been one of the best defenders in baseball this year and is going to put up a 10-win season. So, if he can't get it, I can't imagine too many people are. That ball was ripped up the middle, scores a run. Back against the wall, who are you? It's the Gritty Tigs, baby. Shout out Cy Job again. Talking about him way too much on this show. That's a dog, though. That's the dog. What went wrong in this ball game? RISP is the glaring hole from the Tigers in this game, really from both teams, to be fair. The Tigers went a whopping 2 for 15 with runners in scoring position in this ball game. Thank goodness they won, because if they lost and went 2 for 15, I mean, what? Maybe it ends up 2 for 16, I guess, if they lose. Or 1 for 15. That's how it works. 1 for 15. I would have lost my marbles on here. I would have thrown a complete childish level temper tantrum. So thank goodness they won. Take a breather and be more proud of the team for overcoming the adversity of going 2 for 15 than pointing it out as a glaring issue. But look, Reagans is incredible. And I'm not going to hold too much against them for, again, finding a way to win, given the situation. This is one of the best lefties in the entire sport, Cole Reagans is, genuinely. And they grinded out ABs. They had 4 walks against him. That's a high number. He had a high pitch count. The fact that he was able to even able to, go 7 innings, I think is, again, just a testament to how good at baseball he is. He's very good at his job. And they made him work. I mean, he went out there in the 7th. He had a 90-something pitch count at the start of that inning, right? Like, they were doing everything in their power to try to chase this dude out of the ball game. And again, couldn't get the job done a lot of times, couldn't finish off innings, but were consistently applying pressure. And eventually the Royals cracked. It just wasn't going to be with Reagans on the mound. 2 for 15 with RISP, kind of struggling, and then kind of. Yeah, that's an understatement. Very much struggling there. Who is struggling, which is what I meant to say, Dylan Dingler continues to just really struggle at the plate. His season stats, he is now hitting 123 with a 394 OPS. Something that was pointed out by a few different people out on the Twitter sphere. So I don't have any one particular person. This was not my idea, is my point. This was pointed out by a few other people, is that Dingler at a lot of levels has kind of done this, gets promoted, struggles immensely for, 100, 150 plate appearances, and then adjusts it and turns it around. I have not given up on Dylan Dingler by any stretch of the imagination. I believe in the profile. I believe in the player. However, it's definitely going to be a conversation to have this offseason about how much of a backup plan you have at catcher, being how poorly Dingler and Rogers have hit for you in 2024. So that'll be something to keep an eye out for. But and he did rope a ball in this ball game. I felt so bad. It's just kind of like when it rains, it pours. He smoked a ball to third base, down the third base line, just right at him. Like, sometimes you just can't win in this beautiful, frustrating game. So that's kind of it, though. Like, again, they consistently were getting on base and applying that pressure. They had 7 hits and 5 walks. That's 12 base runners. It's just that clutch hitting was what they were missing. Let's talk stuff. Let's talk Casey Mize. Then we'll kind of talk about obviously tonight's game and kind of just where the Tigers stand as a whole. All right, we will do all of that right after this. Got to talk to you today about our new friends over at Arena Club. For most of us that like collecting cards, very much like myself, I have a huge, it's not in frame, I have a huge card collection over there. The idea of spending $2,000 or more on a Ellie or Mahomes, rookie card, it just isn't in the cards, get it? For most people. I love collecting, but there's some serious money to drop to, be super involved in the hobby. And thanks to slab packs from arenaclub.com, now it's possible to score gem mints for a fraction of their retail price. Every card that I listed, that I just listed, right? Mahomes, Ellie, etc., was a hit from last week's Arena Club slab pack drop. Arena Club is the only repack that provides real value, a complete view of all possible cards, and clear hit rates for each one. Arena Club slab packs are revolutionizing the repack game with transparency. After your pulls are revealed, they'll immediately be placed in your showroom for safekeeping, selling, trading, or auctioning. The Arena Club grading process is accurate, fast, and transparent, with a full grade rationale provided and explained of how your card was scored. Whether you're buying, selling, trading, or displaying, Arena Club is the card collecting platform that you have to check out. Right now, you can get 10% off of your first slab pack as well, or card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/LockedOnMLB and using code LockedOnMLB. That's arenaclub.com/LockedOnMLB, code LockedOnMLB, all one word, for 10% off of your first purchase. All right, everybody, welcome back. Your third and final segment, Locked On Tigers. Appreciate you all for tuning in as always. Let's talk stuff, okay? Casey Mize found himself in the stuff category today. Didn't think it was a super inspiring, great outing, but didn't think it was awful and certainly didn't cost us the game either. Goes 4 1/3, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts. Again, the Royals could not find a big hit or a clutch hit to save them in this ballgame. That's really what it came down to. He allowed 10 base runners in 4 1/3. That's not great. What was good, right? If we're splitting Mize's start in half of what went right and what went wrong, what went right was the velo. Velo was fantastic on all of his pitches. I think that's a great sign, given where he's at in the season and where he's at, coming off of Tommy John and whatnot. Obviously, that was, a last offseason thing, but just still, it missed some time again with injury this year. To see the velo as good as it was in this game, I thought was really nice to see. The slider, I thought, was the best it's looked since he came back from the minors, when we were told it was going to be a really good pitch, and it wasn't. It was really good, I thought, in this game. It was really effective, got swings and misses. I thought he was locating it decently well, but we'll talk about that in a second. The splitter went right back to not being very effective. Not yesterday, obviously, but the start before that, the splitter I thought was some of the best we have seen from it. It was not very inspiring in this one. I did not think it was very effective, and it was not a very effective swing and miss pitch, especially in this one. The biggest thing was he just didn't have command. He was all over the place. His fastball was all over the place. I don't know if he was just like overthrowing, and that's why the velo was up, but the command was all over the place. That kind of tracks. But he was spraying it. He was spraying it all over. It wasn't even like, glove side, it was fine. Arms. No, every pitch, every location, just I saw no consistency with my eyes in what he was offering there on the mound as far as command went. But it was just a weird outing. Like I didn't have any command, but I did appreciate how the stuff looked, but not all the stuff. He just continues to be kind of frustrating and just kind of caught in no man's land there of like, I don't really know how I feel about him going forward or how much confidence we have in him going forward, but he's going to need to make at least one more start, if not 2 more this year. And it's going to be some valuable innings. So hopefully he can grow from this and adjust and go out there next time and pitch a better outing and hopefully get a little bit further into the ball game. As far as putting a bow on this game specifically, Urseg staying in the game was a crazy managerial decision. the only justification is you literally didn't have a lefty warm, and they immediately showed the Royals bullpen and showed that they had double barreled action, righty lefty up. I have no clue how you face the music there. And like the Royals are having a great year. They far exceeded expectations. They're probably going to make the postseason. Obviously, that coaching staff deserves a ton of credit. In a vacuum, that was a ridiculous decision. 0 for 4 Riley Greene in extra innings, and you're going to mind-boggling to leave him out there. Tigers reap the benefits, obviously. And then the balk, the magical balk that was. The Tigers did, gave it some good luck and gave it some gritty Tigers magic, and you got a balk out of there to send the runner to third, even though Kerry Carpenter couldn't advance, Trey Sweeney to third base there in extras. They got it anyway. The baseball gods were on your side in that one, so that was kind of a clutch balk, which you don't say too terribly often. One downside of this game, Colt Keith left the ball game with a shoulder injury. Evan Petzold's been doing a lot of great coverage since this game ended, talking about how this is the same shoulder that caused him a lot of problems a couple of years ago in the minors. But Colt Keith, in his own words, after the game, said it did not feel like that. And it did not feel like the same injury. He said they would see how the next couple of days went. The Tigers have a platoon at second that they will roll out there. It will be Zach McKinstry against righties. It will be Andy Ibanez against lefties, and they will patchwork their way at second base through as long as Colt Keith is out. I hope he's not out. I hope it's, just he tweaked it a little bit, pulled a muscle, and is totally fine. But they do have I can't believe I'm saying this, serviceable backup plan in place with that platoon. Zach McKinstry's been hitting a lot better over the last month and a half, and Andy Ibanez, while his numbers have come back down to earth, is still a good hitter against lefties. I am not, Colt Keith being out because of the Band-Aid work and the guys that they have on the bench. I have faith that the Tigers, what a far cry this tone is from, July on this show, from myself, openly admitting, right? Very much so. Crazy. Refuse to lose, baby. Also, can we grow up with Bally Sports? My goodness. I always have to put this caveat out there. I think the on-air personalities, and I'm sure the producers for like the Bally broadcast, are fantastic. I actually know a couple of the producers as well. But the on-air personality, we are blessed with some of the best on-air talent in the sport. Right. When I complain about Bally Sports, it has nothing to do with obviously our booth. Like Natalie Kerwin is unbelievable. Johnny Kane, right? Like all of these people that make the Tigers broadcast are brilliant people and are very, very good at their jobs. The app and whoever is in charge of like running the actual website for it, that is where all of my anger goes. Nobody could watch the first 3 innings of the game unless you had cable, right? If you watch through the Bally website or the Bally app, you literally could not watch until the 3rd inning. That would be yours truly. Now I've found a way because but ridiculous, man. They just won't go away. They're like the Tigers. Bally just won't go away, baby. Won't go away. And what that'll transition us into my last point here. The Twins beat the Guardians, so you stay 1.5 games back. You don't gain any ground, but you don't lose any ground either, and that's, dang it, just as important. And you're set up now really, really well. And like I put myself in the shoes of being a Twins fan right now. You are 4-6, I want to say, in their last 10, right? They are collapsing. And no matter what they do, the Tigers are right there. They win, the Tigers win. They lose, the Tigers gain a game. That has to be unbelievably frustrating and somewhat, I'm not like, I don't want to, this is not like a message. I'm not trying to, I'm not on the team. I'm not trying to be like, hey, Twins fans, watch out. Like, I'm not trying to be that guy. It's just like, it's one of those things where I genuinely, like from the bottom of my heart, if I was in that situation, I would be sweating my hands off. That's what we're going to go with. That's a phrase that people say. You know what I mean? I just, Go Tigers, baby. This is the most wins they've had since 2016. They are also 3 wins away from clinching an above 500 record for the first time since 2016 as well. You got a series win no matter what, and you are up 2-0 against the Royals in Kansas City. And guess what? You're throwing your Cy Young winner, your soon-to-be Cy Young winner, in the finale. Skubal versus Alec Marsh. Marsh is a 4.52 ERA. You're going to be, honestly, you like this might be a game where you're the favorite despite being on the road. Now, it is worth noting before we send you off on your way, if there is a kryptonite to Tarek Skubal this season and really in his career, it is the Kansas City Royals. He's talked about it. The media has talked about it. I'm now talking about it, right? Everybody is well aware that that he has had some hiccups in Kauffman and against the Royals in general. Guess what? It's a series win anyway, and the Twins still have 2 more games against the Cleveland Guardians. Let's go sweep the Royals, eh? Thanks for making Locked On Tigers your first listen every single day. Shout out to the everydayers that do tune in every day. We will, of course, be back tomorrow recapping that series finale. I just, I really do love and appreciate y'all so much. Yesterday's show is probably going to be the most listened to episode of this show ever. And I just appreciate you all so unbelievably much. I think about it daily. Yeah, I'm not going to get all emotional here. Let's win some ball games. All right, let's keep the train rolling. But this fan base deserves it so much, just so much. You all deserve a winner, and you deserve to, live your lives and go to work and come home and sit down and watch some winning baseball, man. And it's just so cool that we're there again. I for the first time in I don't even know how long, in a September game, I woke up in the morning, and I don't know why I said that like I had to prove to you that I woke up in the morning, but I woke up yesterday morning, and my first thought was, I cannot wait for 7:40 p.m. Eastern time. How do I just get there? Obviously I have work to do and whatnot. Very fun time of year over at the Detroit News, covering a lot of fun sports over there. But like I'm just all day, I'm just like, my leg is bouncing. It's just get me to first pitch. My whole day is revolving around just get me to the Detroit Tigers. And that's something I haven't felt in September in a very, very long time. All right. Already did the outro. Peace and love. Going to therapy's dope. I'll catch y'all tomorrow, baby. Go Tigers.